Okay, one of our problems is, well, the problem in Washington D.C. is that there's a corrupt culture in Washington D.C. that has been there for decades. It's embodied in the Democratic and Republican parties, and they provide space for lobbyists to sit down in Congress, in the Capitol buildings. They provide room for them to sit down and write legislation, exactly word for word and detail for detail of what they want Congress to pass. And Congress rubber stamps whatever they write, no matter what it means for the good of the country or the good of our people. The reason they do that is because they get money from Wall Street, the financial services industry, and other special interests, the oil interests like BP. And so they rubber stamp the legislation written by the special interests. And we reap the wind on what occurs. The financial downturn we had recently is something which was built up over the last 30 years by Congress not overseeing Wall Street and the financial services industry. They did not provide adequate regulation or oversight of those industries. So they went wild. They were doing things which were really very bad business practices. They were lending money at 125 to 1. And the international standard is like 10 to 1. So they were 12.5 times beyond what is considered to be a safe business practice. But Congress allowed that. They looked the other way because they were getting money from those people, and they were pretending that the financial upturn would never end, along with Wall Street and the financial services industry. It was a bubble, so that stocks were very overvalued. There were a lot of instruments that were unstable or unsure, or people could not have their confidence in the way business was being done. So people lost confidence, and we had a big downturn. And when you have a bubble of that type, that's sad news for you, or bad news, is that we will not get out of the recovery from that bubble for 5 to 7 years, according to many economists. Well, for instance, the CEO of Google said so much on a TV show recently, and he backed it up with quotes from other economists, and this is what the situation is. It's going to be 5 to 7 years before we have a really solid recovery and be back where we were before the bubble burst. And yet we have Steve Driehaus and Steve Shabbat telling us that things are going to be okay in a year or two. Things are going to be okay because they want your votes. They want to be in Congress. They aren't concerned about fixing the problem. They aren't concerned about telling you the truth and telling you what the situation is. They want to be in office. I would like your vote also, because I think that we need to make it so Congress does oversee the legislation being written. In fact, they need to actually write the legislation. They need to read it, and they need to act upon it and in agreement with the other party across the aisle. We need to have conversations between the two people who now call each other names, who yell at each other. This happens all the time, every place. We need to have 44 nonpartisan independents elected to the House and 10 nonpartisan independents elected to the Senate. And when we accomplish that, when we elect those people to office, then the Democrats and Republicans will have to listen to what we say, and they will have to begin conversations with one another. They'll actually have to start solving our long-term problems. As it is, if we do not have that occur, I'm afraid that the financial upturn, if they keep on being as irresponsible as they have been for the last 30 years, and nothing guarantees that they will not be that irresponsible, then the downturn may last longer than 5 or 7 years. It may be 15 or 20 years. And I am very concerned about my grandchildren and my son and the lives they live over the time when I'm gone. If you want to waste your vote on someone, waste your vote on Rich Stevenson. And it will tell the Democrats and Republicans that we expect them to start doing their job. We expect them to start talking to one another and finding solutions to our problems. If I don't get elected, we will send that message to them. Waste your vote on Rich Stevenson. It will be the best vote you ever wasted. And it will do some good. It will get the attention of the Democratic and Republican parties. And it may get them to start having conversations with one another in order to solve our problems. Waste your vote on me, Rich Stevenson. It'll be the best vote you ever wasted. I do approve of this message, and I do hope you will vote for new leadership in Congress by voting for Rich Stevenson tomorrow. Thank you.